A warm welcome to you all, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tulani Nobela, the Acting General Manager of Trade and Investment from Mpumalanga Economic Growth Agency. Welcome to this Mpumalanga Investment Promotion Day. I'll be taking you through the program for the day. The first item has already been handled, which was the welcoming. The second part would be a presentation of the province via video. The third part would be a presentation on investment opportunities in the province by Ms. Colette Oliphant, who's the Manager Investment Promotion. Then the fourth item would be a presentation on the Nkomazi Special Economic Zone. This would be done by Ms. Lizzie Mashilwane, the Manager Investment Promotion at the Nkomazi SEZ. Then on number 5, it will be a presentation on the Mpumalanga International Fresh Produce Market, and it will be done by Mr. Eric Nyatikazi, who's the Acting General Manager for Mega's Properties and Infrastructure Development Division. On the 6th item, it will be a presentation of tourism investment projects in Mpumalanga. This will be done by Ms. Zandile Mkachwa of the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency, shortly MTPA. Then we would end on number 7 with a provincial investor video, which will be a video about PG Bison Limited, one of the investors in the forestry sector. Then lastly, it would be closing remarks by the program director, Mr. Tulani Nobela, as was earlier introduced, being the Acting General Manager of Trade and Investment. We hope you'd enjoy the day with us. Thank you.
With the world-renowned Kruger National Park on its eastern border and a diverse landscape of unparalleled grandeur and beauty, the province of Mpumalanga is well known to the international tourist industry as a unique and scenically splendid African paradise. Equally impressive, but perhaps less universally known, is the region's rich value as a powerhouse of mineral resources, agriculture and industry supported by world-class infrastructure. Mpumalanga, in the Nguni languages, means the place of the rising sun, is a region of South Africa vibrant with potential and strategically positioned to celebrate a new dawn of economic growth. Situated in the northeast of the country, Mpumalanga province shares a common border with the independent republics of Mozambique and Swaziland. The bustling capital city of Nelspruit is the business hub and seat of the provincial government, with easy access via the national road network, rail and regular scheduled air services. Its location at the heart of the Moloto corridor connects it with Limpopo province in the north and the economic heartland of Gauteng to the west. From the crisp highlands down through the Ferdinand Lowveld and all the way onto the Mozambican capital on the eastern seaboard runs the Maputo Development Corridor, a road and rail network that has been extensively upgraded to international standards, connecting the region with excellent port facilities in the city of Maputo, as well as offering easy access to the South African port of Richards Bay. Officially launched by the Presidents of South Africa and Mozambique in May 1996, the Maputo Development Corridor has become known as the most advanced international development corridor in Africa. With robust and diverse existing industries from mining, energy generation and forestry to agriculture, manufacturing and tourism, Mpumalanga's logistical infrastructure is well developed with ample capacity for expansion. Top exports from the region are coal, macadamia nuts, cane sugar, ferroalloys, avocados, manganese, timber products, and citrus fruit. Mpumalanga supplies 80% of South Africa's power generation and annually produces 120 million tons of stainless steel. The historic mining hamlet of Pilgrim's Rest has the singular distinction of having become fully electrified even before the City of London, using hydroelectric power generation on the Blythe River. The Belvedere Hydroelectric Power Plant was commissioned in 1911 and was, at its time, the largest hydroelectric power station in the Southern Hemisphere. Geographical location is the greatest competitive advantage of Mpumalanga's Nkomazi Special Economic Zone, formalized in 2016 in response to investor demand. Currently under construction is the International Fresh Fruit Market, which will facilitate world-class agro-processing standards and also serve as a central link of economic integration between Mpumalanga, Swaziland and Mozambique. The market will be the center of Mpumalanga fresh produce global distribution. Situated in the border town of Komatipoort, the Nkomazi Special Economic Zone offers direct access to the Maputo Development Corridor and significant tax incentives to companies locating within the zone. The objectives of the incentive program are to support investment in manufacturing assets, to improve the productivity of the South African manufacturing sector, and to encourage and support the training of personnel, thereby improving labor productivity and the skills profile of the region's abundant labor force. The area is rich in diversity and heritage, with 4 languages spoken: isiXhosa, Siswati, Ndebele, and English. The South African government has made a commitment to supporting, fostering, and incentivizing long-term investment in green and brownfields projects in the region. Advantages to both local and international companies operating within the Special Economic Zone include a corporate tax rate of 15% versus the South African national rate of 28%, a custom-controlled area with VAT exemption and duty-free zone, and significant tax incentives supporting capital investment and training. The Mpumalanga Economic Growth Agency, or MEGA, is the official trade and investment promotion arm of the provincial government. Experts on the local economy with partnerships and alliances across the investment value chain, MEGA offers a one-stop shop for all new and existing industries in Mpumalanga. The agency functions as a regional fixer for international operations, facilitating everything from administrative and investment needs to trade information, compliance, and border formalities. With specialized knowledge of the region, MEGA packages investment opportunities with a high potential for success, expanding on proven existing industries and proposing new ventures that integrate seamlessly into the existing framework of infrastructure and opportunity. With an abundant local population comprising unskilled as well as semi-skilled and skilled labor, Mpumalanga's people are ready to meet the challenges of new and expanding industries in this African paradise, rich with potential. Let MEGA pave the way to successful investment in the place of the rising sun. Mpumalanga Economic Growth Agency. A mega step to growth potential.
Greetings to all. My name is Colette Oliphant. I'm with the Mpumalanga Economic Growth Agency, the official economic development agency of our province. I will be sharing with you our investment opportunities within our province. Why invest in Mpumalanga? Mpumalanga's diverse and resource-rich economy makes it one of the most attractive trade and investment destinations in Southeast Africa. A large growing domestic market and excellent access, supported by world-class infrastructure to the East African and Indian Ocean markets through Maputo Port, makes Mpumalanga an ideal investment location for export-driven manufacturing and production. Mpumalanga is one of South Africa's most productive and important agricultural regions, and through strategic investments in the Mpumalanga International Fresh Produce Market and the Nkomazi SEZ, the province is set to become a major force in food production and distribution. Mpumalanga's sophisticated and well-segmented tourism sector is ripe for investment and expansion in a post-COVID world. The Maputo Development Corridor allows for market access to the East African and Indian Ocean markets through the Maputo port, making Mpumalanga an ideal investment location. Mpumalanga is a host to investors in various sectors such as tourism, agro-processing, mining, forestry, steel, and many more. Our economy is divided into the following sectors, with 25% share to mining, 17% to commercial services, 13% manufacturing, 11% to agriculture, 15% to trade, and others being electricity, construction, transport, and finance. I will be sharing with you our key economic sectors. Agriculture is a diverse sector in Mpumalanga and can be divided into the Highveld region, which consists of summer cereals, legumes, maize, soya, canola, sunflower, animal products, that of meat of bovine, swine, sheep, and poultry. Our Lowveld region consists of subtropical and citrus fruits, nuts, and cane sugar. Mpumalanga province is one of South Africa's most productive and important agricultural regions and plays a key role in the export profile of South Africa, primarily in fruit and nuts. Our major export is the macadamia nut, which in 2019 we exported 3 billion rand worth of nuts. There are major new investments in processing facilities in Mpumalanga. Forestry is a key driver for the development of Mpumalanga's rural economy and a major provider of job opportunities. 40% of South Africa's sustainable forests are located in Mpumalanga province. Industry comprises of logging, sawmilling, wood products, wood board, pulp, and paper, as well as specialized cellulose. Our main exports are pulp, paper, and specialized cellulose, sawn lumber, wood chips, and wattle extract. Our major players are SAPI, Safcol, Komati Land, Sonai Oracle, York Timbers, and FX Group. Mining is the province's largest single sector, providing employment to 5.2% of the province's workforce. Coal, 83% of South Africa's coal production, 50% of the national coal reserves, and third largest coal exporting region in the world. Coal is the lifeblood of our provincial economy, fueling 11 Eskom power plants, producing 80% of South Africa's electricity. Coal is Mpumalanga's single largest export product, shipping mainly to India and Pakistan. Other minerals in Mpumalanga is gold mining, which takes place in Evander, Pilgrim Rest, and Barberton, and gold is the second largest export from Mpumalanga. Platinum and chrome ore mining is in the Steelpoort and Burgersfort areas in the north of the province, Bushveld, Ingenious Complex, and the mining services and technology industry is an important subsector in Mpumalanga. Manufacturing is one of our big sectors as well. It comprises of three primary pillars: and these account for more than 60% of the output of our manufacturing sector. These are fuel, petroleum, and chemical products that are manufactured at the Cecil Secunda plant in Secunda, the world's largest synthetic fuels facility. Ferro alloy and stainless steel industries are based in the Kangala district. Columbus Stainless in Middelburg is Africa's only producer of stainless steel flat products. Samenco Chrome Ferrometals, the world's second largest ferrochrome producer, have 2 plants in Mpumalanga province. Agro-processing is mainly based in the Lowveld region and consists of manufacturing forestry products, pulp paper and cellulose, sugar at the Selati RCL Foods plants in Komazi, and processing subtropical fruits and nuts. The importance of tourism to the economy of Mpumalanga cannot be overstated. The effect of the COVID-19 pandemic will be strongly felt. Mpumalanga received over 1.6 million international visitors in 2019. The key source countries were Mozambique, Eswatini, the USA, Germany, France, and the UK. Domestic tourism has steadily increased. The total tourist foreign direct spend in 2019 for Mpumalanga was just over 12 billion rand. The Kruger National Park is Mpumalanga's most famous tourist asset, and safaris are a major tourist attraction. The Manyaleti Reserve, a 23,750 hectare game reserve, shares a fenceless border with the Kruger National Park and is operated and managed by Mpumalanga. God's Window and Blyder River Canyon are other provincial treasures attracting investment. Business travel, including conference facilities, adventure, heritage, and cultural tourism, also hold huge growth potential in Mpumalanga, but require investment in infrastructure and product development. These are some of our selected strategic high-impact projects. Our tourism investment projects, which my colleague Zandile Mkachwa will be sharing with you in her presentation from the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. I'll highlight the projects only. These are the Bergslax Potholes Hotel, the Blyder River Canyon Cable Project, and God's Window Skywalk, as well as the Barberton Makondra Mountain World Heritage Site. Our second investment opportunity is the Mpumalanga International Fresh Produce Market. Mpumalanga is establishing a 1.2 billion modern fresh produce market facility located in Bombela. The facility will give local farmers access to local, regional, and international fresh produce markets and will aid in food security. This presentation will be expanded on by my colleague, Mr. Eric Nyatigazi, when he delivers his presentation on the fresh produce market to you. Our third investment opportunity is the Nkomazi Special Economic Zone. The Nkomazi Special Economic Zone has been designated and MEGA is appointed to establish the entity. SEZs are geographically designated areas which are set aside for specifically targeted economic activities that are supported through special tax incentives. We do have a presentation for you, which will be done by our colleague, Ms. Lizzie Mashilwane on the Nkomazi SEZ. So please look forward to that. So in a nutshell, what is Mpumalanga offering? In terms of economy, we have strategic location in the world market, sound macroeconomic policies, and rapid liberalization of trade and investment markets. We have a stable political environment and government, commitment to investment facilitation, a large growing domestic market, and good access to African and Indian Ocean markets. In relation to infrastructure, we have modern infrastructure in transport, cutting-edge technology, and sophisticated financial markets, world-class telecommunications and ICT, and we are strategically located. For corporates, there are modern banking and financial services, 100% ownership permitted. liberal repatriation of profits, and a large economically active population. We are rich in natural resources, self-sufficiency in agriculture, diverse and cost-efficient mineral and agro-industry inputs. If you are concerned about lifestyle, well, we have an unparalleled quality of life, good medical facilities, residential housing that's well priced, and we do have a university within our province. Mpumalanga is open for business. Mpumalanga welcomes you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lizzie Mashiloane. I'm the Investment Promotion Manager for the Nkomazi Special Economic Zone. So I'll be presenting to you the investment opportunities in the Nkomazi Special Economic Zone. So I have the table of contents here. We have the vision of the Nkomazi SCZ. The SCZ is an abbreviation of the Special Economic Zone. The phases of development, the proposed location, the benefits of locating in the Nkomazi SCZ, Nkomazi SCZ value proposition, as well as the investment pipeline. So this is our vision as the Nkomazi SCZ, being to transform the Lowveld region into a sustainable and productive food and agro-processing hub supported by logistics. So yes, we are the agro-processing special economic zone supported by logistics. So over here is the phases of development within the zone. We were designated by the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, whereby a pre-feasibility study, a feasibility, and the designation was eventually approved. That has been completed as part of the phase 1 of development. Currently, we are on the phase 2 of development, being the final stage, and we are going to the phase 3 in the next few months. So this is the interim phase where we are setting up the entity and operationalization of the entity. We are capacitating the SCZ by ensuring that governance processes are all in order and satisfactory of all statutory requirements. This includes the land development processes within the special economic zone. So the last phase of development will be the developmental phase, being phase 3. So in this phase, we will be implementing the actual SCZ, where physical development of the zone will be happening. So the location of the special economic zone, of course, is in Africa, as a continent within the country South Africa, in Mpumalanga, located in Komati Port. So the images there indicate where exactly we are located. I'll continue with the location and land size. The size of the special economic zone is around 700 hectares of land, 673 to be precise, with the first phase of development being the 300 hectares. So the strategic location of the Nkomazi Special Economic Zone is indicated here, being that we have various comparative advantages. We have access to land, the geographical area that measures around 478,000 plus in extent, with sufficient land for current and future industrial development. So we have access to international market being the SADC as a region, the East Africa and other global markets. We are located within along the Maputo corridor and close proximity to the port of Maputo, which can provide investors with easy access to various infrastructures, including the rail and road. The strategic location is continued. We have access to bulk infrastructure, the reliable access to utility services such as electricity and communication services. We have adequate road and rail network. The network is world-class rail and road infrastructure connecting Mpumalanga to various provinces within South Africa, being Gauteng, Limpopo, and also to our neighboring countries, that of Swaziland as well as the Mozambique. We have competitive advantage in primary agriculture. Various crops are being Various crops are being grown in Mpumalanga as raw materials. So this includes the soybean, the dry bean, the sorghum, the maize, broilers, layers, cattle and sheep, you name it. The raw material is definitely within your doorstep. So in terms of the competitive advantage in primary agriculture, we are certain that as Mpumalanga, we will definitely provide for your needs. And the strategic location is continued. In terms of the micro benefits, we have a challenge of insufficient industrial activities within the Komati Port area. The Komati Port is where the SZ is housed. So the municipality is mainly dependent on the national fiscus for sustainability, which provides great potential for investors to locate there and provide industrial activities since there aren't many. The region's contribution to the gross domestic product will increase, which is a national priority. The unemployment rate will also be reduced through your services and industrial activities which may take place in the Komati area. So the value proposition of the Nkomazi Special Economic Zone is it will be providing that comprehensive support mechanism that go beyond just infrastructure. This support includes cheaper electricity. As I indicated, that green energy production is one of our priorities. We'll provide the land, the water, rail, and port tariffs. We'll also be providing serviced land, serviced roads, serviced municipal services within the zone. So availability of necessary skills to be found in the Nkomazi, the Ehlanzeni region. So we're speaking to the universities, to the colleges, to collaborate with them in ensuring that we will definitely have the required skill suitable for our investors in the future. We have access to raw materials. We will be fast-tracking of regulatory matters such as the environmental impact assessments, the EIA, the township establishment, the bulk services agreements, the building plans are also part of the incentives that strengthen the actual value proposition of the SZ. So we will ensure that the investment attraction is indeed tailored to suit our individual investors, or rather the cluster of investors, and also supporting government-wide initiatives such as the Black Industrialists, the supporting of small to medium enterprises within the region, and ensuring that all the government incentives outside the special economic zone are actually considered to assist our investors. The benefits of locating in the zone is continued. In this case, we have the corporate income tax incentives, whereby most companies in South Africa are subjected to the annual tax charge of 28% in their taxable income. However, companies which are located in the special economic zone within the Nkomazi, they will be subjected to 15% rate, which is quite a bargain, I must say. So the employment incentive is also considered as part of the national policies, employing of youth, unemployed people, the previously disadvantaged, the women are part of the national policies within South Africa. So there will be employment sweeteners, which will be inclusive for investors hiring such. So we continue with the benefits, the customer excise incentive. In this case, goods imported into custom controlled areas situated in the zone are relieved from applicable import customs. So we will ensure that those sweeteners within the zone are also considered. These are part of the serviced land, the serviced benefits within the zone. So the value-added tax are part of the incentives as well. Here we've got the investment pipeline of the Nkomazi Special Economic Zone. To date, we managed to attract a total of 12 investors. So these investors are in the green energy sector, they are in the logistics sector, they're also in the agro-processing sectors. Out of these 12, 8 of these investors are ready to locate in the zone. They're ready for occupation. And we have 3 letters of intent. By letters of intent, we are still in negotiations with these investors to ensure that all regulatory legal matters are met before we actually locate them in the zone. The 9 investors have provided their commitment letters and they are ready to locate. We have a total of over 48 billion anticipated investment with 43,410 potential jobs. So as I indicated that in ongoing engagements are underway with these potential investors who provided only their letters of intent. And yeah, we expect occupation of the land in the near future. So the envisaged industrial ecosystem has been outlaid in this slide, whereby there will be participation of local farmers, remote farmers, local communities within the SZ. To date, whenever we speak to our investors, we ensure that their needs are aligned with what the province, what the neighboring countries can offer. So we have farmers who will be providing raw materials into the SZ and their agreements are being finalized. We also have the green infrastructure, we have industrial processing plants, we have the agro-processing foundation, the sales and logistics. As I indicated that we are agro-processing supported by logistics. So these are the SZ management services which should be provided within the zone. The 10-year view aspiration in terms of the economic impact is quite huge. This socio-economic impact will be beneficial to reduce unemployment, poverty, and inequality in the Nkomazi region. So the SZ is expected to provide the gross domestic product of around 97.6 billion, with SZ export being 3.5 billion. You see, the export component is one of the objectives of the SZ program as a whole. So we will focusing on that. And we're looking at the primary agriculture of around 5.3 billion, with construction jobs of just over 8,000 and industrial jobs of over 9,000. Agricultural jobs being 81,765. So here I have images of what the SZ would look like upon completion. So this is the grand entrance. As you can see, we're expecting trucks in and out of the area. There's a green element to the special economic zone, good parking. This is the continued images that shows the operations inside the special economic zone. The service land, as you can see, the roads will be provided by the zone management. So these are the office structures. And the SZ office buildings are continued. We subscribing to the modern way of office buildings, beautiful designs, as you can see. And we continue with the industrial structures over there. These are also the industrial buildings. As you can see that the trucks have been provided adequate parking, and the buildings will be based on the investor demands and facility requirements as received. Also to note that some of these buildings will be used. We will use the top infrastructure funding provided by the national government to assist investors in locating and building the required factories based on what their requirements are. In that case, I would say that I hope I did not take long. Thank you for listening. Once again, my name is Lizzie Mashilwani. We will be able to share this presentation with you should you require it. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Eric Nyantigazi. I'm the acting general manager for properties and infrastructure within MEGA. I will be presenting investment opportunities linked to the development of a fresh produce market within Mpumalanga, as well as the bigger agro-processing precinct within which the market is going to be located. Mpumalanga in the early 2010s had a vision of building a world-class fresh produce market. The intention through that facility is to promote and support job creation, food security, increase economic returns, and transform the agricultural sector by providing smallholder farmers within the province with access to markets. The province of Mpumalanga has identified a farm of about 259 hectares in size. And this was bought and transferred to Mega. The intention for that farm was firstly to develop the international fresh produce market, which is supposed to be a catalyst for a bigger development that will host a larger agro-processing industrial park. Currently, the fresh produce market is under construction and it's being wholly funded by the provincial government of Mpumalanga. The land on which the agricultural facility is located has, through studies, both environmental and geographical study investigations, been found to be up to 98% developable. In terms of location, it's well located in relation to major national roads like the N4, which actually makes it easy to access other markets within South Africa, especially markets like the bigger Gauteng market, Limpopo, as well as other markets in neighboring Mozambique and Swaziland. Important link infrastructure that also is accessible from the market includes the OR Tambo International Airport. There's also major facilities that of interest that are close to the land parcel that has been identified for this development. Those major attractions include the Kruger National Park. The CBD of Nelspruit or Mbombela is about 6.5 kilometers from the location where the fresh produce market is being constructed. In terms of demand for fresh produce within the province, it's been estimated that in total, in excess of 340,000 tons of fresh produce is being consumed annually within Mpumalanga. And currently, up to 74% of that demand is not met internally within the province. And that has been identified as the gap which the market intends meeting, or portion of what the market intends satisfying in terms of supplying to the market at a provincial level. The market is located within a bigger farm or area as indicated. The red in this map shows where the market will be located. I'm sorry, actually, the market is going to be located just above the red in that map. It in fact occupies the space colored yellow and blue in the map that's before you. That actually, the whole area indicates the whole land parcel, the 259 hectares that has been acquired for the agro-processing industrial park. The fresh produce market alone occupies about 44 hectares of that. We've identified within that area zones or land parcels that can be used for warehousing and packaging, as well as bulk retail trade and other factories. There is a designation of a number of zones which will be detailed in terms of the exact land usages that will be promoted there as we finalize the broader master plan for the area. Already, I think another key point is to indicate that there's already interest from the private sector for some of the land. In particular, there's a company by the name of NDF that is looking at securing 12.5 hectares of land there to build a dry vegetable processing plant that is very much linked to the fresh produce market that's currently under construction. If we narrow down, go down to the actual development that's currently underway, which is the fresh produce market precinct, a total of 71.5 hectares is already serviced as we speak. That it already has the required sewer, water, and electricity infrastructure to support development in it. There are roads, mainly that are structured around the market and to facilitate access to the market. And in between the infrastructure, the road network, there are stands which collectively amount to 19.5 hectares of land, which can still be used for other activities. These stands number up to 9. In other words, these are stands that can be developed immediately. The map you see in front of you gives more details in terms of the current development within the fresh produce market precinct. The market itself and its ancillary buildings is mainly located in stands 1 and 2. And then, as you can see, the rest of the land is actually occupied by a road network and other supporting facilities. Stand number 3, right at the corner there, to the top right corner, is mainly currently utilized for water, for bulk water supply infrastructure. And the green areas there are stands that are pockets of land that are identified for different uses like commercial and retail. And there is still a process of subdivision and regularizing the land uses in the area that needs to unfold before the individual land pockets can be disposed to different investors for specific development. In terms of the economic spin-offs that is envisaged from the development is that I mean, for the in terms the direct, if we can quantify the direct capital injection that has so far been committed to the area. It numbers up to 2 billion rands. And then it's also expected that it will have an induced effect of up to 2.33 billion, which will actually accrue to the broader Mbombela economy. The construction of the market, as I indicated, is fast nearing completion. And we are currently at a critical stage where we need to proceed with speed in operationalizing the market. And that includes appointing a market operator and setting up an entity that will run the market as a business. The market is envisaged to operate as a commission-based market that will be managed through contractual agreements between the envisaged operating company and the market operator, as well as the market agents. There will be a division between ownership and management, where Mega will lease the infrastructure and the building and the related facilities on a long-term contract to the envisaged operating company. And another critical point to note is that to ensure innovation, optimization, value addition, and financial sustainability, the market operator will be allowed to utilize all available revenue streams associated with fresh produce markets in South Africa. It is intended that the operating company should be placed in a position where it can compete optimally in the fresh produce market space. Therefore, it is envisaged that it will be for a for-profit private company, as contemplated in clause 8.2b of the Companies Act. The authorized shares of the envisaged operating company will make ample provision for the issuing of shares to new value-add shareholders, or to allow for easy readjustment of issued shareholding percentages. And whilst Mega will be the majority shareholder, given its pivotal role as the owner of the market and the improvements on the land, its shareholding will not, however, exceed 50%, as that will create a situation of ownership control, which will effectively render the envisaged market operating company a public entity. The exact shareholding in the operating entity will, however, be determined based on the contributions of the various shareholders that we are yet to onboard onto the project. We envisage appointing a market operator through a two-stage procurement process, which will start with expression of interest, followed by a request for proposals exercise. This is the plan that shows the kinds of facilities that we are currently constructing, that are including the market itself. As you can see, there will be an overnight stop. There will be public transport facilities in the form of taxi stops, bus stops. There will be also ablutions for the public who will be coming in via public transport to purchase produce in the market. The market itself is a building that will be about 30,000 square meters in size, and there's land that's provided for possible expansion should there be a need in future, as will be determined by demand of the produce that will be traded in the market. Adjacent the market building, there's an agro-processing building that will also be made available to interested investors for them to trade. Investment opportunities that are linked to the fresh produce market can be summarized as follows. There will be opportunities for agro-processing businesses within the immediate surrounding of the market, as indicated in the market precinct and even in the broader agro processing industrial park area. There will be opportunities for transportation and logistics, an opportunity presented by the operations of the market in terms of coming up with proper operations and market operations and operating systems, facilities management to run the facilities, servicing and maintenance of market operating equipment. As one knows, there will be a lot of mechanical equipment that will be utilized in moving produce up and down and within the market floor area itself. There will be opportunities around the manufacturing of pallets. There will be opportunities amongst cash management, security, and associated systems. There's also a bigger opportunity around a proper development of additional industrial facilities in the area, in the property development space, particularly focusing on industrial and commercial buildings. What MEGA is actually looking for, given what has already been done on the ground, the amount of money that has already been invested in the form of bulk infrastructure and the construction of the actual buildings that are currently there, is partners that will come in and assist MEGA to complete and operationalize the fresh produce market, as well as fully developing the entire precinct and envisage industrial park around the market. Areas identified in particular where those partnerships will come in handy are the area of property development and the management of the area once developed. Also in the area of funding, funding could come in the form of debt finance as well as equity for those investors that are committed or want to commit for the long term as equity partners, both in the operation of the market and also in developing the bigger land parcel into a fully fledged industrial park anchored by the fresh produce market. There will be opportunities also in the retail and wholesale sector, as indicated in the conceptual drawing that was flighted earlier in the presentation. MEGA believes that it has proven that it has the necessary team and the necessary commitment to see the proposed development through. Already there's proof that we are well on our way to deliver the development or to realize a successful completion of the development. The fresh produce market and all ancillary facilities as indicated on the 71.5 hectares will be completed in the third quarter of the 2022-23 financial year. Once that has been done, the immediate task will be to get the market operational as soon as possible. We have already started the process of preparing for appointment of the market operator, alongside also initiating the process of incorporating a new entity that we've already spoken about, which entity will then be charged with running the facility as a business. The contract that Mega is going to enter into with the market operator will in time, once the market operating company has been operationalized, be ceded over to such operating company. And then Mega will basically be sitting back as a holding company, basically having equity on the market operating entity and owning 100% of the land and the buildings wherein the market will be operating. Thank you. That's the end of my presentation. Thanks a lot for your attention.
Good morning. My name is Zandile Mkajwa from Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. I am responsible for ensuring that businesses are developed in the protected areas as well as managing concessions. I will be presenting investment opportunities in the MTPA protected areas. The entity has embarked on an investment drive for the proposed catalytic project below. For all the projects below, feasibility studies and EIAs were completed. What needs to be done was to seek an approval from Treasury in order for us to commence with the procurement process to source a private investor. We have identified the Bladder River Canyon Cableway project, which is situated at the Bladder River Canyon Nature Reserve. The canyon is the largest and deepest green canyon in the world and offers a spectacular opportunity to build a cableway transporting tourists from the top of the canyon to the peninsula below. It's a PPP project. Joint ventures are also encouraged. It's also a build, operate, and transfer project. A capital investment of 292.3 million will be required for this project. It is the Boxlag Potholes Hotel, which will give a wonder in the Mpumalanga Lowveld. It comprises of a modern 4-star 80-bed hotel using and incorporating local materials where possible when it's being built. Whilst the accommodation is rated 4-star, the facility will aim at providing a 5-star service. The facility will include public areas, rooms, or resettlement. It's also a PPP project, a joint venture. Joint ventures are encouraged as well as build, operate, and transfer. The capital required for building this project is 284 million. Another one that was identified in the Bladder River Canyon Nature Reserve is the Bladder Hydropower Station. which will give an output of 11.8 gigawatts per hour per year. A tariff of 0.88 kilowatts per hour has been assumed for appraisal purposes. The returns for the private sector are attractive considering that tourism projects are a high risk undertakings. It's also a PPP project and the capital required is 63 million. We have identified projects in the Barberton Makonjwa Mountain, which is a World Heritage Site. The Mpumalanga Tourism has been appointed to manage this site. We have identified a development of a 144-bed hotel at a high-intensity leisure site with activities such as restaurants, shops, education centers, picnic, as well as braai areas. Another of 48 beds at the low-intensity site. Amenities such as restaurants, shops, education centers, and picnic areas will also be built. And the last one is the resort with a maximum of 250 beds at the peripheral tourism development area with amenities such as swimming pools, sport facilities, theme park, restaurants, shops, education centers, as well as braai areas. On these ones, no feasibility studies or EIAs were conducted. I thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your attentive listening to the various presentations and also watching so intently. We appreciate your time. Take care. We hope this has made meaningful sense to you and you'll see opportunities that the province is providing and maybe take advantage of those. We encourage you to do so. Thank you very much. We value your time. Thank you.